Coming up at 4:30, just weeks after the devastating earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria, another 6.4 magnitude tremor has rocked the region, further complicating relief efforts.
Plus, there are many new restrictions on nightlife in Bricktown. Stay tuned to see if they affect you.
And finally, it does not feel like February outside. Will it continue? We have your full weather forecast and more on this edition of UCentral News. Good evening. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News. I'm Brady Gray.
Happy Monday. I'm Eden Jones.
A massive earthquake aftershock hit Turkey this morning near Defne, according to a statement made by the country's Disaster and Emergency Management Agency. The United States Geological Survey reported the quake as being a magnitude 6.4. The powerful aftershock follows a deadly magnitude 7.8 tremor that struck Turkey and Syria on Monday, February 6th. Aftershocks near the Turkey-Syria border will continue for months and potentially even years. As we have already seen, the frequency will decrease over time. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, quote, aftershocks become less frequent with time, although they can continue for days, weeks, months, or even years after a very large main shock, end quote.
And today, President Joe Biden made a surprise visit to the Ukrainian city of Kyiv. This is Biden's first visit to Ukraine since the Russian invasion almost a year ago. During this visit, Biden announced additional military assistance as well as a $500 million assistance to Ukraine. And Biden is scheduled to visit Poland later this week to mark the anniversary of the Russia invasion.
U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is demanding accountability from Norfolk Southern, the railroad company involved in that major train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. Buttigieg sent a letter to the company's CEO on Sunday. He urged the company to do more to respond to community members' needs. Many say they've been sickened by since the derailment more than 2 weeks ago. Buttigieg also accused the railroad and other major carriers of lobbying Congress to undermine federal safety regulations. In the meantime, Ohio's Department of Health says it will open a health clinic in East Palestine to provide medical care to people affected by the derailment.
And a proposed ordinance in one of the most vibrant entertainment districts in OKC might cut some kids' nights short. I spoke to the assistant city manager more about this. Take a look.
In the heart of downtown OKC lies one of the most vibrant entertainment districts in the city, Bricktown. Home to various restaurants, shops, and family-friendly attractions, Bricktown is a popular destination for tourists and locals alike. But with that, it has recently encountered some safety issues.
Anytime you have large groups of people gathering, you want to make sure you have the safest environment. And so, again, just thinking about being proactive.
Recently, there has been a marked increase in violent crime in Bricktown involving unsupervised juveniles.
There have been a couple of incidents of violence, at least one shooting involving juveniles.
Because of this, the Oklahoma City Council is considering lowering the curfew in Bricktown from 11 p.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week for unaccompanied individuals under the age of 18.
Curfew has been one of those things that's come up, and that's really for the safety of the kids that are down there. Right?
The ordinance change was introduced to the Oklahoma City Council February 14th. Fairbosh said it's no means to take away all that Bricktown has to offer, but merely a safety precaution.
If we could encourage kids when they're done going to the movie or finish with a Dodgers game, to go home or find another youth-related activity to do.
Violators are subject to a Class A offense, which requires a mandatory court appearance. But Fairbosh said what they're really seeking is voluntary compliance.
What we've seen so far is mostly just questions from the public.
One of the main questions asked was if there are any exceptions to the ordinance, and there were several. Some exceptions include juveniles working in Bricktown, involved in an emergency, or arriving or returning home from an event. Justin O'Neill, the Bricktown district manager, provided a written statement and said, quote, changing the curfew will be another tool to improve safety in Bricktown. The Bricktown Association has taken many steps to ensure safety within the district. This includes advocating for increased lighting, funding safety patrols by the downtown OKC Green Team and off-duty OKC police officers, as well as working alongside the OKC Police Department to learn best practices in nightlife and operations. The proposed ordinance is scheduled for a public hearing on February 28th and vote on March 14th. And if it passes, it will take effect immediately. In Oklahoma City, Eden Jones, UCentral News.
And this has been received with mixed reviews from people all around Oklahoma City. And if you have any questions, you can attend the public hearing in council chambers at City Hall. Again, that's on February 28th.
With the weather that we've been having, Eden, Bricktown's looking real attractive at the moment.
Oh, for sure. The 60s are looking so good. Hopefully they'll stick around. Destiny, what do you got for us?
Yes, as they said, it is starting to look really pretty outside. The warmer weather is starting to come. Temperatures are starting to rise a little. I'm just here to give you your weather updates for today. So we'll start with the current conditions. So outside it is currently 67 degrees. It is it's nice, it's pretty warm out, but unfortunately the sun is not out and it is very cloudy outside. You almost can't see the sun at all today. The winds are going pretty slow. The winds are blowing west at 9 miles per hour, so nothing too strong. And then the humidity rate is a little high. It's 42%. And then it feels about the same as it is outside. It feels like 65 and it's 67 degrees out. So then moving on to tonight, the temperature is going to drop, but just a little. It's still going to be very cloudy tonight, and the temperature is going to be 46 degrees. And then the winds are also going to slow down. They're going to go to north. They're going to be blowing northeast at 6 miles per hour. The humidity rate will stay the same. And then luckily, there is no chance of rain tonight, but later on the week, there will be some rain. And as I said, the temperatures outside are starting to rise, so it's perfect weather for grilling or picnicking. But as temperatures are rising, so are grocery prices. I spoke to a UCO student who was being affected by the grocery prices rising. Here are the details.
With prices of necessities going up across the nation, some UCO students are concerned about affording groceries.
It's made me not want to buy groceries, and it's hard to kind of navigate what groceries I want to buy and which ones I can now because the prices are so high.
With staple items like eggs, meat, and dairy products going up in price, many students are now having to put more thought into deciding what they can and can't afford.
I think a lot of my refund that could be spent on things like textbooks and other necessary school supplies are now going towards grocery money.
According to the USDA, grocery prices increased by 9.9% last year, are expected to rise by 7.1% this year.
I think financially it's been a really big strain.
If any UCO students are concerned about affording groceries, they can visit UCO's Central Pantry, located on the first floor in the Nye. From Edmond, Oklahoma, I'm Destiny Pittman, UCentral News.
And though grocery prices are high, those students can also find some relief visiting the UCO Food Bank and grab-and-go food down on the first floor of the Nye.
That's right, and grocery prices might not be the only thing stressing out students. UCentral went out to talk with students about stress factors, and how to actually reduce your stress levels.
I think tips for incoming freshmen for the mental health would be to not get overwhelmed, stay the course, and remember that you can always ask professors for help or anybody if you need any assistance.
As a freshman, you may get anxiety a lot from feeling scattered. So I say sometimes you may want to just step back, take a deep breath, and approach it the same way you would an elephant. You eat it one bite at a time.
Firstly, I would like them to know that you're not alone in this journey. You have friends around you. Just reach out to somebody if you need help with anything. And next of all, just always remember to take your rest. Have some food, hydrate enough, get good sleep, 7 to 9 hours every day, and take care of yourself. It's so important, and everything will add up together.
And students who want to seek therapy and more mental health resources can visit the UCO Counseling Center. That's room 402 in the Nye.
And like we've talked about, temperatures very high, very warm outside, but will those temperatures actually increase this week?
Coming up, Destiny Pittman will have this week's forecast. Stay tuned.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole. You got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the mass comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Welcome back, Broncos. I'm just going to give you your 7-day forecast. As you look across the 7-day forecast, you will notice, unfortunately, this week is going to be a little dreary and gray outside, but we'll start with today. So outside, the high for today was 69 degrees, and it was very cloudy. It's been cloudy pretty much the entire day. The sun hasn't been out pretty much at all, and that's going to continue on for most of the week. Going on to tomorrow, temperatures are going to rise just a little. It's going to be 72 degrees out, but still no sun out, very gray and cloudy. Moving on to Wednesday, we actually are going to get some rain. The temperature is going to rise only 1 degree. It's going to be 73 degrees out, so it's going to be some nice warmer rain, but it is still going to be very gray and cloudy out. But then as we move on to Thursday, we see the sun is finally coming out, and you can go have some fun outside. The temperature is going to drop just a little. It's going to be 51 degrees. So while the sun is out, it's not super warm, but it's better than the gray clouds. And then moving on to Friday, the temperature's dropping again, and it's going to be cloudy again, as it has been most of the week. The high is going to be 44. And then Saturday, it's going to be 59 degrees, still cloudy out. Sunday, the temperature is going to rise just a little. It's going to be 67 degrees. So pretty much what it was today, and it's still going to be cloudy out. So unfortunately, it looks like we won't have much sun out this week, but luckily the weathers aren't going to be freezing. So then we're going to go on to our statewide forecast. So as you look across the state, you will notice that luckily it is every place in the state is in the 70s and 80s. So it's starting to finally be warmer outside. And we're going to start up in Guyman. So up in Guyman, the high for today or for tomorrow is going to be 72 degrees. Down in Woodward, 75 degrees. Clinton's going to be 73 degrees. And then as we go down to Altus, it is actually going to be the warmest part of the state, and it's going to be 81 degrees. And then Lawton, Oklahoma is going to be 78 degrees. Ardmore, also very warm there too, 80 degrees. And then over in McAllister, it's going to be 77 degrees. Then down in Idabel, 78 degrees. And then as you see, OKC and Tulsa are going to be pretty much the same, 73 degrees in Oklahoma City, 73 degrees in Tulsa. Up in Enid and Ponca City and Miami, it's actually they all are going to have the same temperatures for tomorrow. It's going to be 70 degrees there as well. I know for a fact, am so excited that the weather is finally starting to warm up because I do not like the cold and I love being outside. How do you guys feel about that back at the desk?
I know I need some more cold weather for my mental health. It doesn't feel right.
You are crazy.
February to be in the 70s. I need it that good 40, 50
No. I'm from South Texas. We only do warm weather. I mean, it's weird though, because 7-day forecast, up and down, 44 on Friday,
Very
67 on
backward.
Sunday. It's just crazy to me how Oklahoma works sometimes. But
I know as a northern Oklahoma boy, I need it as cold as it can possibly get. I know I'm in the minority there, but I stand by it. I stand by it. When we come back, UCO's Emma Birch is talking about how Republicans are criticizing President Biden for visiting Ukraine over the weekend.
That's right, and how fans are giving mixed reactions to the new Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania movie when we come back.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back, Broncos. I'm Emma Birch, and here's your social media update. As mentioned before in the show, President Biden took a trip to Ukraine to show support as the one-year anniversary of the invasion comes later this week. Republican members went to Twitter to express their anger of Biden's trip. Republican House Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene said that his trip is, quote, incredibly insulting. Republican Scott Perry said that it is breathtaking that Biden can show up to Ukraine's border to help, but not America's own border. And the long-awaited Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium was released this weekend in theaters. The hopes for the movie to succeed, did just that. The Marvel film hit $104 million at the box office. It was the best start for an Ant-Man movie and the first movie to hit $100 million so far this year. Moviegoers for the third Ant-Man movie went to Twitter after watching it to give their opinions, both raving and not so good. As you can see on the screen, Rotten Tomatoes gave a not-so-great report on the film. Many critics said the movie overplayed a minor Marvel character and that the film was not moving enough for such a big corporation. But even with the negative analysts, many Marvel fans took to the theaters to give their own review, and their opinions were much more different than the critics. Some saying to stop listening to the critics before watching films because of the bad review of Ant-Man. Others said the movie was enjoyable to watch start to finish. One tweeter even said it was a top 8 Marvel movie. And this just in coming to our desk, Alec Baldwin scores a win in Rust's trial as a New Mexico DA drops gun enhancement charges against the star, possibly reducing his time. And today is National I Love Your Pet Day. Many went to social media to show off their animals of all kind. Here is a collage of UCentral's crew members' pets. The little puppy in the middle is my puppy dog, Ruby. One of our producers, Micah, has a bearded dragon named Bernie. Jocelyn Schifferdecker, UCentral's anchor, showed off her 2 cats, Juno and Libby, in the bottom right corner. If you have a pet at home, please share a photo of them down in our comments so we can see your furry or not so furry family members. That's all I have for today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Yes, and with I Love Your Pet Day, make sure to show your pet some love. I wish I could go back home and give my 4 animals some loving today. What about you?
Oh, certainly my St. Bernard Brewski is the most handsome young man that ever was. So
I have any excuse to
I know
talk
he's
about my
home watching
animals.
for sure.
Love them.
Very good with, love him to death. But coming up, you got XFL back on and the NBA All-Star Game. UCentral's Jaden Ford has more. Keep it here.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back, Broncos. I'm Jaden Ford, and this is your Monday Sport Report. Sunday afternoon at Gary Pickerson Stadium, Central's softball team rolled over Southwestern 9-1. And at one point, they even led the game 6-0, thanks to sophomore Taryn Rich, who pitched a complete 5-game hitter, helping Central close out the weekend 4-1. Number 6 Central does not return to the field until they host Northwestern Oklahoma for a 2 p.m. doubleheader on March 1st. And over the weekend, Central played against Northwestern State University, winning 67-52, but it was also senior night. With all the family in attendance and the ceremonies before and after the game, Central started off a little bit slow, creating a back-and-forth matchup. And they also had 4 lead changes in the first 10 minutes of action. But early in the first half, when Central did finally take over, they never trailed again. They went on a 10-2 run, leading to another victory and a great way for the seniors to celebrate one last game here on campus. An All-Star weekend is officially over, and everyone's asking what the best highlight was. Was it Damian Lillard winning the three-point contest? Was it Mac McClung saving the dunk contest? Or was it Celtics superstars Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum dueling last night on the big stage? For me personally, even with Tatum's 55-point explosion last night, I'm still giving the crown to Mac McClung for saving the dunk contest as we know it. And the reinvented XFL, better known as the minor league, is officially back. And if you needed your football fix over the weekend, there was plenty of exciting plays to talk about. Starting with former Oklahoma Sooners head coach Bob Stoop, the Arlington Renegades started off the season 1-0 after a close win over the Las Vegas Vipers last night, winning 22-20. And the St. Louis Battlehawks and A.J. McCarron were at risk of starting the XFL season in underwhelming fashion. However, McCarron, the former Alabama championship QB, led his team to a win. And thanks to a few big plays down the stretch and the XFL looking to add more excitement to the game, his Battlehawks rallied to score 15 points in less than 2 minutes. And they defeated the San Antonio Brahmas 18-15. That is all I have for sports today. Brady, did you catch any XFL this weekend?
I caught as much as I could. I had a busy weekend, but no, it seems like it's a pretty good brand of football. Something I don't think it will rival the NFL, but hopefully it kind of makes up for this amount in between.
I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing, but I heard San Antonio Brahma. I'm from San Antonio, so I was like, maybe I should go
So you have
check
a team
it out.
now, is what I'm hearing.
I do. I'll get a jersey. Maybe I'll order one online. But
for sure.
Coming up, archaeologists in the United Kingdom made a very interesting discovery over the weekend.
And UCO's Destiny Pittman takes one final look at weather. Don't go anywhere.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Today is President's Day, an official holiday observed every year on the third Monday in February. President's Day has a long history, starting with the nation's first president, George Washington. In the decades following Washington's death, his birthday was unofficially observed every year. But in 1879, President Rutherford B. Hayes made it official, signing it into law to join our 4 existing bank holidays approved in 1870. Washington's birthday didn't officially become President's Day until much later with the Uniform Monday Holiday Act. In 1971, under President Nixon, that law shifted Washington's birthday, Columbus Day, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day to fall on Mondays. The goal was to create more 3-day weekends in the hope that it would boost productivity on working days. A short time later, the observance of Washington's birthday became known as President's Day.
And in other news, a different type of Bigfoot has been found in the UK in an area called the Dinosaur Coast. It is a megalosaurus footprint. Take a look at that. The one that has been discovered measures a meter, that's 3 feet long, and it's the largest of its kind. The 3-toed footprint is one of only 6 to be found in the area. Archaeologist Marie Woods, who made the discovery, says she can no longer tell people, quote, archaeologists don't do dinosaurs. And she said this because traditionally geologists and paleontologists focus on dinosaur fragments, and archaeologists mainly study ancient human artifacts.
Let's take one last look at weather with Destiny Pittman. Destiny, what do you got?
Good evening. So I'm just going to give you guys some of the final weather updates that I just want you to keep in mind as you go throughout your week. So as I said earlier, it's going to be cloudy every single day this week except for Thursday. The sun will be out on Thursday. But then, on Tuesday, there's going to be a 50% chance of rain. The rain isn't going to be there during the day. It's going to mainly come later in the evening, and it's going to continue on until Wednesday. And on Wednesday, there's going to be high winds and thunderstorms. So just keep that in mind. And if you are going to be out and about, just make sure to be careful when you're driving. Make sure the streets aren't slick, and then make sure you have an umbrella if you have one, and then a raincoat. And just make sure that, like, if there is a chance for severe weather, to check your phone and make sure you have a shelter to go to. So just keep that in mind as you're going on throughout your week. And then, since it is still Black History Month, I have another fun fact for you guys. So did you know the first Black person to win an Oscar was actually Hattie McDaniel for her portrayal in Gone with the Wind, and she won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. And then since she won that Oscar, there have been 21 other people who are African American who've won an Oscar. So I think that's a really fun fact. That's all I have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Destiny, for that last look. And I know the weather is going to affect me and my plans. I'll actually be going down to Bricktown later this week. So hopefully we can avoid that rain, and hopefully that weather can kind of just stay nice for us while we're down in the metro.
Bricktown is absolutely beautiful, especially when the weather is really, really pretty. There's always something fun to do. There's actually some mini golfing and a lot of fun businesses that you can shop at, restaurants to eat at, and go see a Dodgers game. I've never seen one.
For sure. I need to get out there and see one, especially once they have some of those LA Dodgers guys in there. They've had Kershaw down there before. They've had some really big names, and those are the days that you can really see the house get packed.
Yeah, definitely want to go see a Dodgers game, though, when it's a little bit warmer out, though. Definitely not in the
February and it's
spring.
80 degrees. You're complaining about it not being warm enough?
44 on Friday does not sound good to me at all. So
sounds about perfect to me, but that is all we have on this edition of UCentral News. For everyone behind the scenes, I'm Brady Gray.
I'm Eden Jones. Have a good night.